A major component of the National Diaspora Day celebrations was the celebrity interview with diaspora role models. 4 diaspora Nigerians were selected, and they include Professor Hawa Ibrahim from the Harvard University in the United States of America, Aliyu Ahmed Al-Makura, Vice President, Bank of America, Mayor Ernest Eziajuji, Chief of Staff to the Anambra State Governor, and Francis Obiora Obikwelu, sportsman, Portugal. It is really unmissable. And its performance by Vantage Point Academy and Peace Dancers promises to spice your day, without forgetting our diaspora of the moment, which comes very shortly. This is your favorite program, The Diaspora, and I am Koinsola Adetumbi. Please stay with us. Hosting the celebrity interview with diaspora role models is the veteran herself, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabiri Erewa, and my humble self. Please watch.
Professor Hawa Ibrahim, Esquire. She is the president of the Peace Institute. Prior to joining the Harvard Divinity School as a visiting lecturer, Professor Ibrahim was jointly appointed fellow at Radcliffe Institute for Advanced Study at Harvard University, Harvard Law School and Islamic Legal Studies program. A lawyer, author, and mother, Hawa Ibrahim is a laureate of European Parliament, Peace Prize 2005, and Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought. She resides in Massachusetts, USA.
Now, madam, your story is that you were educated by accident and ended up at Harvard University. Kindly share with us what you mean by that. That sounds like a profound story. Please share it with us.
In my village, it is normal for girls to be married very early. So my father gave me out to marriage pretty early. I came from a small village of about 2,000, so I was a hawker. I call myself the tella girl. Some of you that know Hausa, you know the tella, those ones that put their tray on their head and sell things from house to house. So I was really a tella girl. I sold everything from vegetables to peanuts. I went to the mountain to make woods. I come down, the mountain is Bima. I came down to sell to make a little bit money. I was buying and selling anything sellable. I have a tomato factory, the veg fruit in my village. And then I go and pick tomatoes, I fill basket, make a little money. But all this little money I was making was more to prepare me to go to my husband's house, which is a normal phenomenon where I come from. My mother said I defied everybody. It's like I was a black sheep in the family. I desperately wanted to be educated. So partly my push has always been never to take no. And I always see a path, and I don't know where it was coming from, but I saw a path, a hunger and thirst to be something else and not be in my village. And part of that was to get education. And
Aliyu Ahmed Al-Makura, Vice President of Consumer Banking at Bank of America, where he developed his banking and financial services expertise. He has acquired substantial experience in banking over the past 17 years. His extensive knowledge of banking has led him to work with global partners across the Bank of America franchise. He has helped spearhead projects that brought in millions of US dollars in revenue results. He currently sits on the Bank of America West Los Angeles Regional Council Board as a committee co-chair. We Can Deliver. He was also co-chair Associate Connectivity, Bank of America West Los Angeles Regional Leadership Council. He holds a bachelor's degree in banking and finance from the University of Maiduguri, Nigeria, and graduated with honors. MBA from the University of Wales, Cardiff Business School, UK. MS in risk management from the New York University Stern School of Business, and Program for Leadership Development from Harvard Business School, Boston, Massachusetts.
Tell us about your own, in terms of where you are now. Melvin has said it, everybody has said it, the power of the diaspora. It's not just remittances. What more should we be doing for the diaspora to get more engaged, to build that trust and confidence, and to have you, not just Bank of America, but at least maybe set up your own Bank of Nigeria here, who knows? So tell us what really we should be doing.
It was once said in the 1980s by President Buhari, which has inspired me, that hey, look, generations of Nigerians will grow and live here, and future generations will grow and live here. Therefore, we need to come together and salvage it. To salvage it, you can't do it by yourself. Just for the fact that people like myself, I'm in the United States in the diaspora role, doing some amazing job with all the individuals that I'm really humbled to be a part of today. But you know, the reality is, we can't do it all by ourselves here in Nigeria. It has to go beyond remittance. You just mentioned that. Remittances is one thing, but when you look at that, that doesn't equate to anything. Somebody was suggesting transfer of knowledge, you know, exporting our language. I guess my friend here from PwC, I totally agree, exporting talents out there would compete. But how do you do that? You know, we need to come together and help the youth propel this economy. That's how the international community will recognize the talent in Nigeria. And that's how people like myself will help come back and bring value here. Because as the saying goes, it takes two hands to clap. So we need to be that role model speaking out there about this country with its great potential. So thank you.
Portugal-based Francis Obikwelu is a sportsman, an Olympic medalist, two-time world junior champion, European record holder, 100 meters and 5 times European medalist. Despite making Portugal his home, Obikwelu continued racing for Nigeria until 2000 at the Sydney Olympics, where he was the second fastest man. During his career, he specialized in 100 meters and 200 meters. He was the 2004 silver medalist in the 100 meters. In the same race, he set the former European record in the event at 9.86 seconds, which stood for nearly all Obikwelu's athletic achievements. His life story and his personality make him a popular figure in Portugal, where he is nicknamed Chico, the short form of the Portuguese version of his name.
Francis, you also have a story to tell. You ran for Nigeria some years ago and then something happened to you. Can you share that with us and where you are today and what you're doing back in your community in Nigeria? Thank you.
I was the first Nigeria to get a medal in a world championship in Sevilla in 1999. But unfortunately, I was in Sydney Olympics. I had an injury with my knee, and it was terrible injury. And the doctor said that I cannot compete anymore. I cannot run anymore. That I have to quit because it's terrible. I have to go for surgery, and I have to go for surgery in Canada. One of the best doctor in Canada, Dr. Max from Toronto Raptors. You know, I had a surgery. I paid $15,000 for my own money, but everything went wrong after the surgery, and I had a blood clot, almost died. I have to be in hospital for 3 months. I don't even know what's going on, and I almost died. And I was lucky. They find out what's happened. So, and after that, I came back. I came back to Portugal. Then I told my mom, enough is enough, and then I have to go back and running. And then in 4 years' time, I started running for Portugal, and then I get a medal in the world in Olympics in Athens, and with European record. Yeah, for me, I'm from Anambra State. For me, there's a lot I can do. It's very important for me. If they bring me back to Nigeria, it's not about money. It's money doesn't move me. Like sometimes I said, if you make all the money, I'm not going to be the richest man in the cemetery. So we're going to die one day. So I think for us is for us to support the young boys, the young kids.
Ernest Nama Ezeaguchi, a graduate of Aguata High School, Anambra State. He bagged a BSc in microbiology at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka in Anambra State. Ernest obtained his master's degree in environmental health and management at King's College, London. In 2014, Ernest won a seat at the Brent Council, where he represented the largest ward in the borough of Stonebridge and was re-elected as the deputy mayor of Brent. In 2019, he was voted mayor for a 2-term tenure by his fellow councillors, where he served meritoriously. He was recently appointed Chief of Staff to Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo.
And I would like to talk about something that has been on the front burner with regards to diaspora, and that's diaspora voting. Share with us what you think about diaspora voting and if you think there is a possibility for this in Nigeria.
I think if other countries, they've adopted diaspora voting, Why Nigeria? Why not? Easy. And this, I think I've lived in UK for over 16 years. So you see that people who will not defer money politics, even if you give them some pounds or dollars, they will still vote according to who they think is the best. And this is why the effort the chairman has been making since she took over the NEDCOM chair. Sleepless nights, I've been in an engagement about that. So the straight answer, government, the legislators, we need to make it happen now. Just like we should do it like yesterday. We shouldn't be continue to talk about diaspora voting. Let's do it, because these are where the actual changes of how many millions of Nigerians are in diaspora. Look at our remittances. If we are remitting such over 20 billion a year, why can't we vote?
A big thank you to our diaspora role models and to our Mama Diaspora. Over to Boya Linko for some messages.
Not so fast. Look, I'm tired. I want to check out of this country for greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down.
Do you have a job where you're going to? No, but someone is arranging,
Listen, Linko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. I've been in the diaspora, but legitimately doing great things at home and abroad. As I've been saying, without the proper footing abroad, the risk is not worth it. Listen, Alinko, it's better to be home than be trapped abroad, or even end up in prison.
As you all know, the United States is home to vibrant and diverse communities from around the world, including from Nigeria. And after nearly 3 years as the US ambassador here, I'm struck by how similar Nigeria and the United States are as nations that seek to embrace diversity, build unity, and recommit to strengthening democracy. That shared commitment produces a bond between our countries that goes beyond governments. It is equally anchored in cultural and commercial relationships, as well as in people-to-people relationships. And one of the reasons our people-to-people ties are so strong between our two countries is the fact that Nigerians make up the largest population in the United States of people from sub-Saharan Africa. There are more than 500,000 Nigerian-born American citizens and lawful permanent residents in the United States. With more than 100,000 travelers to the US each year, Nigerians boost American businesses, colleges, and universities. Nigeria sends more students to US colleges and universities than any other country in Africa, and is the 11th largest source country worldwide of international students in the United States. In the 2020-2021 academic year, a record-breaking number of nearly 13,000 Nigerians pursued US graduate and undergraduate degrees. Nigerians represent one of the best educated diaspora groups in the United States. As you know, the Nigerian diaspora calls all parts of the US home, but with especially strong communities in Texas, Georgia, Maryland, and New York. The ties between Nigeria and these regions grow stronger every year. For example, the Heddies Awards, that celebration of Nigerian entertainment, music, and culture, will be held in Atlanta this year. It's the first time these awards will be held outside of Nigeria, and this shows the power of Nigeria's creative industries is growing on both sides of the Atlantic, which drives further cultural connections between our countries. And I would be remiss not to note the many Nigerian Americans who hold senior US government positions, both elected and appointed, including Adewale Adeyemo as Deputy Treasury Secretary and Ino Eban as the Director of the US Trade and Development Agency. As Secretary Blinken said when he was in Abuja last November, Africa will shape the future, and not just the future of the African people, but of the world, and certainly that of the United States. And the Nigerian diaspora in the US is front and center in that trend. It's been such a pleasure. The Nigerian diaspora is a vibrant ingredient in the melting pot that makes up the United States. And it's been great to be with you today. Thank you.
And now to the Vantage Point Academy, Gwarimpa, Abuja.
As we grow, it gets tougher, but we don't want to try. Memories that feel as if they're called yesterday. day turns to flashes of moments that seem to fade away. The people you once knew walk back at a clue. The times you once shared exist as if they were never there. Years fly, friends die. I never know when you say the last goodbye. Entire life is made up of choices. What to decide, the actions we take, the action we display, all the sense steps of life. Sometimes we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Some of us take baby steps, while some of us take giant steps. But the secret is not to let that 1 step back turn to a failure. Learn from backward steps and keep on stepping forward in this dance called life. But I heard we live and die by the choices we make. And there's only so much a person can take. See, whether it's 20 years or 120, live it with a purpose be greater than many. Most likely, life will be long. So live in the future in mind. Because if you all act in the moment, life will go easy. Trust no future, however present. Let the dead part of this country bury it dead. Act! We should all act in the living present. Heart within and believe in God. Because the lives of all our great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime and departing. Leave behind us footprints at the side of time. So let us then be up and do what we have for any fate. Still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. Because with doubt and dismay, I promise you all, was anything.
All of us are probably familiar with the saying, there's no place like home. To me, I believe this is true. Because after a long day of hard work, both of us look forward to the prospect of returning to our homes. In fact, it is said that an Englishman's home is his castle. I still believe that our return will bring about noticeable positive change in our economy. Sometimes, one of our country that is so endowed with so much in terms of natural and human resources. Besides, the largest producer of oil is the continent of Africa. Then when I relate this to the story of a Nigerian child, tears runs down my eyes. Please, I'm begging every Nigerian in diaspora should return to their home and invest in their motherland. Because it's never, ever going to be a place better than home. This is my humble submission. Thank you. Happy Diaspora Day to everyone. Thank you.
You can do better, you know what I'm saying? That was so touching, man.
Now we're not done yet. Let's have our diasporan of the moment.
Our diaspora of the moment is Winston Wole Shoboyejo. Winston Wole Shoboyejo, popularly known as Wole, is an American scientist of Yoruba Nigerian parentage. He was born in 1964 to academic parents in Palo Alto, California, USA. He moved to Nigeria with his family in 1965. Wole is the son of Professor Alfred Shoboyejo of the Ohio State University and Antonia Shoboyejo. He is a materials scientist whose research focuses on biomaterials and the use of nanoparticles for the detection and treatment of disease, the mechanical properties of materials, and the use of materials science to promote global development. He was educated at King's College London, BS Mechanical Engineering, 1985, and Churchill College, Cambridge PhD, Materials Science and Metallurgy, 1988. He returned to the United States in 1988 to become a research scientist at the McDonnell Douglas Research Labs in St. Louis, Missouri. In 1992, he worked briefly as a principal research engineer at the Edison Welding Institute before joining the engineering faculty of the Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, kicking off a full-time engagement with academia. He served as a member of the Scientific Advisory Board of the Secretary General of the United Nations from 2014 to 2018. Dr. Shoboyejo moved to Princeton University in 1999, where he served as a professor of mechanical and aerospace engineering and a professor in the Princeton Institute of Science and Technology of Materials. Between 2012 and 2014, Shoboyejo served as president and provost of the African University of Science and Technology in Abuja, Nigeria. African University of Science and Technology is a Pan-African university founded by the Nelson Mandela Institutions. Shoboyejo has also served as the chair of the African Scientific Committee of the NMI. In September 2016, Wole joined the faculty and administration at the Worcester Polytechnic Institute, where he served as the Bernard M. Gordon Dean of Engineering and Professor of Engineering Leadership prior to being named Senior Vice President and Provost. In 2021, he was elected a member of the National Academy of Engineering for contributions to understanding dynamic behaviors of materials and for leadership in STEM outreach in Africa. Congratulations, Professor Shoboyejo. We celebrate you as our diaspora of the moment.
Let me leave you with a performance by Peace Dancers.
These words and have faith. Oh, he lives in you. He lives in me. He watches over everything we see. Into the water, into the fruit.
Thank you for staying all through the program. We hope it's been worth your while. The concluding part of the National Diaspora Day celebrations comes up next week. Do stick around to enjoy every bit of it. See you then. Bye.